Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about something called Cazimi, and this is a very special aspect. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does, you need to take advantage of it because it's only usually a few day opportunity or window. So I'm going to explain exactly what it is, but before I start, always remember to sign up for my free newsletter where you can get my predictions delivered to your email at galacticcenter.org. And don't forget to check out my spiritual jewelry. I'm selling malas and spiritual remembrances. And if you want to learn Vedic astrology, go to my university website, which is University of Vedic Astrology.com. But talking about what Cazimi is, it is when a planet unites with the sun. And usually when you get a planet close to the sun, it's combust. Which combustion means when a planet's too close to the sun, it gets burnt. The sun is so powerful. Think about it. The sun, outweighs, in size and everything, and its brightness. It burns everything. So we can't look at the sun. It is that powerful, overwhelming. So when a planet gets too close to the sun, it becomes combust and it weakens that planet. So in other words, whatever that planet is about, Venus meaning love, Mercury being intelligence, but Mercury has a little different variable because Mercury is usually always close to the sun because it never gets that far away. So Mercury has like an orb of degrees where it can be hurt by being too close to the sun. But when these planets, any of the planets, Saturn, Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Mars, when they a certain distance from the sun can really weaken them, or it becomes more malefic. For example, people that have Venus combust the sun, depending how close it is, they have relationship problems. I always tell people that have Venus combust the sun, there was an early relationship that didn't work. And it kind of tainted the way that you look at relationships for the rest of your life. Many times it's an early marriage that doesn't work, or an early relationship, just something doesn't work. And when you put Saturn too close to the sun, some of its disciplinary features could be lost. Something about it weakens that planet. It is the nature of the sun. But Cazimi is when that planet is the same degree as the sun, actually within less than a degree when they are together. Some will give it like 45 minutes, some will give it a degree, but I'd just say less than a degree. When you put a planet with the sun, what actually happens is it unites with that sun and becomes one. So what happens is the sun, with its radiant energy and light, emits the energy of that planet when it becomes one with it. That is amazing power. And one of the reasons why I'm prompted to tell you about this Cazimi principle is that Jupiter is going to be Cazimi the sun this month, between January 27th through the 28th, depending on where you are actually on Earth, but yes, around that time. So, what a powerful day and time period. January, this is in the US, it will be later in the day, January 27th and throughout the 28th, but it becomes one. Actually, that day, it's a full moon too on the 28th. It's very special, January 27th, 28th. I actually planned the beginning start date of semester 1 with my University of Vedic Astrology. I've talked about this before. But aside from all that, when you put Jupiter together with the sun, it becomes Kasimi. Everything that Jupiter is about is emitted from the sun's light and rays. So what is that? Spirituality, truth, philosophy, learning, everything to do with higher-mindedness, philanthropy, giving, generosity. Jupiter is the planet of opportunities. So heed the advantages of these 2 days. But then it goes back to being combust, right as it was right before those 2 days and right after. And therefore, all the energy of Jupiter is weakened. But it's still a great day to plan things. So Jupiter Kasimi will definitely be powerful in the respect of anything to do with spiritual practices, and this would be a great day to do a spiritual meditation. To put your intentions out that you want to manifest about the coming year. It's true. Because Jupiter, you can have more power in that day to manifest what your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations really are. Let's talk about Mercury. When Mercury is Kasimi, the sun, the same degree, people with this are brilliant. They are truly magnificently intelligent and empowered. Watch that. And even that day would be a great day to sign contracts. Just make sure it's Kasimi and not burnt too much by being so close to the sun. Venus being Kasimi, the sun. Well, here's one thing I do want you to know. When we talk about Kasimi, it is an extreme. And even though I'm talking about all these great things being Kasimi, whatever that planet is becomes one with the sun, a little side of it is sometimes harmed, I will give it that, because Oprah Winfrey has Venus Kasimi the sun. Venus deals with mega wealth. I mean, her story, you gotta admit, is unbelievable. From where she came from to where she is today, it is off the charts, remarkable, unbelievable. Amazing, amazing chart to study because of her great success and who she is and where she came from, the obstacles she had to overcome. But she has Venus Kasimi the sun. Venus is mega wealth. Venus, I always say Jupiter's the planet of millionaires, while Venus is a planet of billionaires. But here's the problem. Usually it causes some friction or problem in relationships. Oprah's never been married. You see? So there's one thing that's like off the charts that's remarkable and amazing, but another thing that might be harmed. So that's Venus Kasimi the sun. Plus, Venus is all about the arts, beauty, fashion, design, wealth, opulent wealth, creativity. And somebody with Venus Kasimi the sun will have all of this. But something will be where one thing is so exaggerated and over the top that it pulls from something else that planet rules, you see? So Mars being Kasimi the sun, Mars is all about action, power, sports, athletics, but anger, war, violence. I'll never forget when Mars became Kasimi the sun. Remember, Mars is about these things, so it brings out the brilliance of what that planet's about. Anger and violence are one of the things that Mars has. It was the day of the Boston Marathon bombing. Mars was Kasimi the sun. I knew something was going to happen that day just by Mars and the sun being one. coming together exactly conjunct. So we've talked about, and if you want to know, the moon cannot be Kasimi because what you're talking about, when the moon and the sun come together, it's a new moon. So that's not going to fall into this description, which is a new beginning, a new moon. But we've talked about Jupiter, but what about Saturn? Saturn is going to be everything with discipline, focus, just structure, and responsible. People with this are going to be ultra mega off the charts responsible, probably to their detriment in some way. Because when you're always taking care of the world and everything else, it's going to detract from you in some way. And of course, the outer planets. I believe they can get Kasimi. If we're talking about Uranus, Kasimi the sun, it becomes one. People with this are the most revolutionary. I always say they're a rebel with a cause. It's true. They have all these causes and reasons, but they are so rebellious because they're going to do their thing. And they're so unconventional. They're never going to conform to the traditions, because they're always looking at the future. They're always on the cutting edge. Something that's new and revolutionary, that's going to be someone that has Uranus Kasimi the sun. Now let's talk about if you had Neptune Kasimi the sun. Everything to do with Neptune would be over the tops, exaggerated. The sun puts out the energy of Neptune, which in the beautiful side of Neptune can deal with movies, film, camera, cinema, videos, photography, imaging, things that seem real that aren't. But at the same time, it can deal with mass delusion or escaping this world, always finding a means or a way to escape this world. How do we do that? Well, there's many ways we do that. Drugs, alcohol, spirituality, being involved in cults, things that take us out of this reality. And foreign travel, or movies, or ashrams, or prisons, or hospitals. Those are all come under the domain of how we escape this world through Neptune. But to take it back, I think if you have Neptune Kasimi the sun, well, one thing you've got to watch out for. Your father may have some major issues of escapism, whether it's through addictions of alcohol or many other things that can become under the domain of escaping. But the best thing that could come out of Neptune conjunct Kasimi the sun, a mystic and a spiritualist and a psychic, someone that sees beyond this world. These are all the variables that can entail. And last but not least, what if you have Pluto Kasimi the sun? Pluto deals with major transformational changes in this life and power. Someone with this has extreme power, but their issues revolve around control. They feel they want to control everything, and we can't. We can never control everything. And that will be their hardest thing to deal with. Because what happens when you have to be in control of everything? It's never going to happen. You have to surrender. And that's going to be the hardest thing for someone that's caught up in having to be in control. They have to surrender. So I think that once you really understand all of the planetary energy, and you think that when it comes together with the sun and becomes one with the sun, and the sun emits the rays of what this planetary energy is about, it will bring the extremes of what that planet's about, for good and bad. So watch for Kasimi. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information on me, once again, or my newsletter, go to my website, galacticcenter.org. And don't forget, sign up for my university if you really, really want to learn Vedic astrology, and that is universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.